Hello there, my dear garden-loving friends. Walk into your living room and see a stunning architectural plant that looks like living sculpture, standing tall and proud after weeks of zero attention. That's exactly what happened when I discovered these 6 indestructible snake plant varieties, also known by their botanical name Sansevieria, though most folks still call them snake plants. Each one more forgiving than the last, more beautiful than expensive store-bought arrangements, and so low maintenance they make silk plants seem high effort. Today I'm sharing the exact varieties that have survived my most neglectful gardening moments and still managed to purify my air, backed by NASA's own research on indoor air cleaning. But first, let me share something that might sound familiar to many of you. You've stood in that garden center aisle staring at beautiful houseplants with tags promising easy care and perfect for beginners. You bring them home with such hope. You follow the watering schedule religiously. You place them in that perfect spot with just the right amount of light, and then, slowly but surely, you watch those vibrant green leaves turn yellow, then brown, then drop one by one until you're left with an expensive pot of disappointment. The guilt hits hard when you see those wilted stems. You start questioning everything. Did I water too much? Not enough? Was it the wrong fertilizer? The wrong pot? You feel like a plant murderer. And worse, you feel like you're destined to kill every green thing you touch. I've been there, my friends. I've spent hundreds of dollars on plants that promise to be foolproof, only to watch them become casualties of my well-intentioned care. Here's what those garden center labels don't tell you. Most traditional houseplants fail because we love them to death. We water them on schedule, whether they need it or not. We move them around searching for the perfect light. We repot them when we think they look crowded. We feed them fertilizer because we want them to thrive. All this attention becomes overwhelming for plants that evolved to handle periods of complete neglect. Most houseplant deaths happen because we overwater. Plain and simple. We see slightly dry soil and panic. We water every week because that's what we've been told. But here's what I discovered after years of plant failures. The plants that survive and thrive in our homes are the ones that actually prefer to be forgotten. I remember the moment when everything changed for me. I had neglected a snake plant in my bedroom corner for 3 months. Not intentionally, mind you. Life got busy, and I simply forgot it existed. When I finally noticed it again, expecting to find another plant casualty, I was shocked. The thing looked better than ever. Glossy leaves, strong upright growth, and not a single brown tip in sight. That's when I realized plant success isn't about having magical green thumbs or following complex care routines. It's about choosing plants that match your lifestyle instead of fighting against their natural preferences. Snake plants evolved in the harsh climates of West Africa, where rain might not come for months. These plants don't just tolerate neglect, they actually thrive on it. The 6 snake plant varieties I'm sharing today have transformed countless plant killers into confident plant parents. They've survived my longest vacations, my busiest work periods, and my most absent-minded moments. Each variety offers something different in terms of size, color, and growth pattern, but they all share that same remarkable ability to flourish when left alone. These plants work differently than anything you've tried before. While your other houseplants were stressed by irregular care, these varieties were building stronger root systems during dry periods. While traditional plants were struggling with overwatering, these were using their natural water storage to stay healthy and vibrant. Your transformation from plant killer to plant parent starts with understanding that some plants actually store their own water supply in those thick, sword-like leaves. They're like living water tanks that know exactly when to ration their resources and when to use them for growth. But there's something remarkable happening inside those thick leaves that most people never notice. Each leaf functions like a built-in water storage tank, engineered by nature to hold weeks' worth of moisture inside specialized tissue. When you run your finger along that firm, waxy surface, you're touching one of the most efficient water conservation systems in the plant world. Snake plants evolved in the harsh or rocky regions of West Africa, where rainfall might not come for months at a time. During those long dry seasons, these plants had to survive on whatever water they could store internally. Over thousands of years, they developed leaves with thick, fleshy tissue that works like a natural reservoir. The outer layer creates a waxy seal that prevents water from escaping, while the inner tissue holds moisture in tiny cellular compartments. Most houseplants depend on consistent soil moisture and regular watering because their thin leaves can't store much water on their own. But snake plants turned this whole system upside down. They can go weeks, even months, using only the water stored in their leaves while their roots rest in completely dry soil. The leaf structure works like a sophisticated water management system. When water is available, the plant rapidly absorbs it through the roots and stores it directly in those thick leaves. Then, when dry conditions arrive, the plant slowly releases this stored water to keep all its vital functions running smoothly. You can actually see this storage system working if you know what to look for. Fresh, well-watered snake plant leaves feel firm and heavy in your hand. They're plump with stored moisture and have that glossy, waxy appearance. As the plant uses its internal water supply over the following weeks, the leaves gradually become slightly less firm, though they never look wilted or stressed like other houseplants would. This water storage adaptation makes traditional watering schedules completely unnecessary and often harmful. When we water snake plants weekly like other houseplants, we're forcing them to store more water than they can handle. The excess moisture sits in the soil, creating conditions for root rot while the leaves are already full of their own water supply. The beauty of this system becomes clear when life gets busy. You can travel for weeks, forget about watering during stressful periods, or simply enjoy the peace of mind that comes with low-maintenance plants. Your snake plants keep using their leaf-stored water to maintain healthy growth and that attractive green coloration that makes them such appealing houseplants. During my busiest periods, when I've neglected plants for embarrassingly long stretches, my snake plants have remained the most reliable performers in my home. They use their stored water reserves to keep growing slowly but steadily, maintain their air purification functions, and stay ready for the next watering whenever I finally get around to it. Those thick leaves aren't just decorative water tanks. They're also working around the clock to clean your indoor air, using that same stored energy and moisture to power a continuous purification process that never stops running. NASA confirmed what many of us suspected when they placed snake plants on their official list of air-purifying houseplants. These remarkable plants remove formaldehyde, xylene, toluene, and benzene from indoor air. These are the same toxic chemicals that seep into our homes from furniture, carpets, cleaning products, and paint. While we go about our daily routines completely unaware of these invisible pollutants, our snake plants are quietly filtering them out of every breath we take. Compare this to those expensive electric air purifiers sitting in the corner of your room. They need constant electricity, filters that cost $50 or more to replace every few months, and regular maintenance to keep working properly. When the power goes out, they stop. When you forget to change the filter, their effectiveness drops dramatically. Snake plants work like living air filters that actually get better with age instead of wearing out. But here's where snake plants truly shine compared to other houseplants. Most plants only produce oxygen during daylight hours through photosynthesis, then switch to consuming oxygen at night. Snake plants do something completely different. They continue producing fresh oxygen throughout the night using a special process that allows them to open their pores and release oxygen even in complete darkness. This means your bedroom air stays fresh and oxygen-rich while you sleep. Your living room continues getting cleaner air during evening movie nights. Your office space maintains better air quality during those late work sessions when other plants have essentially stopped their air cleaning duties for the day. The process happens automatically whether you're home enjoying the benefits or away on vacation for weeks. Your snake plants keep processing air pollutants, releasing fresh oxygen, and maintaining that clean, healthy environment you'll return to. They don't need your attention, your presence, or your intervention to keep working at full capacity. As they grow larger over the years, they develop more leaf surface area to process even more air. The older plants in my home have become incredibly efficient air cleaners with thick, mature leaves that can handle larger volumes of pollutants than when they were young. Think about having a 24-hour air purification system that costs nothing to operate, never needs replacement parts, and actually improves with age. Your snake plants keep working during power outages, holidays, busy work periods, and those times when you simply forget they exist. They're processing air pollutants and producing oxygen around the clock without making a sound. I've noticed the difference in air quality in rooms with mature snake plants compared to rooms without them. The air feels fresher, cleaner, and somehow more comfortable to breathe. This happens because these plants continue purifying your air even when you're away for weeks, maintaining that healthy environment through their constant, silent work. Their internal water storage system keeps all their air cleaning processes running smoothly while their roots wait patiently in dry soil for your return. But all these benefits disappear quickly if you make one simple mistake that kills more snake plants than any pest or disease ever could. That mistake is overwatering, and here's the simple technique that eliminates all the guesswork forever. It's called the finger test, and once you learn this method, you'll never have to worry about killing another snake plant. I know how confusing watering advice can be, my friends. One expert tells you to water every 2 weeks. Another says once a month. Some advice changes based on the season, humidity levels, or pot size. You end up with so many variables that you're back to guessing, and guessing leads to dead plants. Here's what most people don't realize about drought-tolerant plants. Even these hardy survivors can be killed by well-meaning but excessive watering. I've seen people lose beautiful snake plants because they followed weekly watering schedules meant for other houseplants. The plants literally drowned in kindness. The finger test works like this. Push your index finger straight down into the soil, going as deep as your finger will comfortably reach, usually about 2 to 3 inches deep. You're not just checking the surface, which dries out quickly and lies to you about what's happening deeper in the pot. You need to feel what's happening down where the roots actually live. When you pull your finger out, it should come out completely clean and dry. No soil sticking to your skin, no moisture on your fingertip, no cool dampness that indicates hidden water. The soil should feel light and powdery, almost like dust. If you feel any moisture at all, even the slightest bit, your plant doesn't need water yet. This process typically takes 4 to 8 weeks between waterings, but the exact timing depends on your home's conditions. During winter months with lower humidity and less daylight, your plants might go 2 months without needing water. In summer, with more heat and light, they might need water every month. The finger test automatically adjusts to these changing conditions without you having to remember different schedules. You can also watch for visual cues that confirm your finger test results. Dry soil changes color, becoming lighter and more uniform throughout the pot. The surface might develop small cracks or pull slightly away from the pot edges. The soil feels noticeably lighter when you lift the pot, since water has significant weight. This method works perfectly regardless of pot size, plant age, or season. A small 4-inch pot might dry out faster than a large 10-inch container, but the finger test tells you exactly when each individual plant needs attention. You're letting each plant set its own watering schedule based on how quickly it actually uses the moisture you provide. The relief that comes with this method is incredible. No more calendar reminders, no more anxiety about whether you've waited too long or not long enough. No more rigid schedules that don't account for changes in weather, humidity, or your plant's growth patterns. You simply check when you remember to check and water only when the test says it's time. I've taught this finger test to countless friends and family members who were struggling with plant care. They all report the same thing. Their plants look healthier, grow more consistently, and require so much less mental energy to maintain. The method gives you confidence because you're responding to what your plant actually needs rather than following arbitrary schedules. Now that you understand the secret to keeping these remarkable plants alive and thriving, let me introduce you to the first variety that will transform your space with its stunning appearance. The Moonshine snake plant stands out like a piece of living silver sculpture in any room. Its thick, broad leaves display the most stunning silvery-green coloration that catches light beautifully and looks far more expensive than the modest price you'll pay at the nursery. This compact variety reaches about 18 inches in height, making it perfect for tabletops, plant stands, or smaller spaces where you want maximum visual impact without overwhelming the room. You might worry that such an attractive plant requires more complex care or attention to maintain that gorgeous coloration. I understand that concern completely. We've all been burned by plants that looked stunning at the store, but demanded constant fussing to stay healthy. The Moonshine breaks that pattern entirely. Its silvery appearance actually signals superior drought adaptation rather than increased care requirements. Those silvery green leaves store water incredibly efficiently, allowing your Moonshine to go even longer between waterings than darker green varieties. I've had Moonshine plants thrive with waterings spaced 6 to 8 weeks apart during cooler months. The research confirms what I've experienced firsthand. These plants need minimal watering and tolerate low light conditions beautifully. The care requirements stay refreshingly simple. Use the finger test we discussed, waiting until soil feels completely dry several inches down before watering again. Then water thoroughly, allowing excess to drain from the bottom holes. Place your Moonshine anywhere from bright indirect light to lower light conditions, though keep in mind that very low light might gradually fade some of that distinctive silvery sheen over time. Low light tolerance makes Moonshine perfect for offices, bedrooms, or north-facing rooms where other plants might struggle. I have one thriving in a corner that gets minimal natural light, and it maintains its color and upright growth without any supplemental lighting. The plant simply adjusts its growth rate to match available light conditions. What excites me most about Moonshine is how it functions like living artwork that requires no maintenance. Place it in a simple pot, and you instantly have a sophisticated focal point that improves your home's aesthetics. The clean lines and metallic coloration complement both modern and traditional decor styles without clashing or demanding attention through constant care. The growth pattern stays neat and architectural. New leaves emerge from the center, slowly unfurling to reveal that signature silvery coloration. Mature plants develop a full, symmetrical appearance that looks professionally designed. You get the visual impact of an expensive decorator plant with none of the ongoing care demands. Moonshine maintains its health and beauty even when you travel extensively or go through busy periods where plant care becomes an afterthought. Those thick leaves continue storing water and processing air pollutants whether you're home daily or away for weeks. The plant simply waits patiently for your return, looking just as good as when you left. For first-time snake plant owners, Moonshine offers the perfect confidence-building experience. Its forgiving nature means you can learn proper watering techniques without fear of killing an expensive plant. Success with Moonshine often leads people to expand their collection because they finally understand how easy these plants can be. But what if you want something with more dramatic presence? Something that creates a real statement piece without requiring any more effort than this compact beauty. The Laurenti and Zeylanica snake plant varieties can reach heights of 4 to 6 feet while requiring absolutely zero pruning, training, or special support systems. These magnificent plants grow themselves into stunning architectural statements that command attention in any room. Walk into any high-end nursery and you'll find mature architectural plants priced at hundreds of dollars each. Large fiddle-leaf figs, mature palms, and other statement plants cost a small fortune because of the time and care required to grow them to display size. But here's what those nurseries don't want you to know. You can grow your own dramatic statement pieces for a fraction of that cost by starting with young snake plant varieties that naturally reach impressive heights. You might worry that taller plants require more complex care routines or frequent repotting to support their growth. I completely understand that concern. We've all seen large houseplants that seem to demand constant attention, regular fertilizing, and yearly repotting just to stay healthy. These tall snake plant varieties work completely differently. The Laurenti variety stands out with its striking yellow-gold edges running along each dark green leaf. As it matures, the plant develops multiple tall shoots that create a full, dramatic display. Each leaf grows thick and sturdy, supporting itself without any need for stakes or supports. The yellow margins become more pronounced with age, creating a living sculpture that looks professionally designed. Zeylanica offers a different appeal with its attractive mottled green appearance, created by slightly different green hues throughout each leaf. This variety tends to produce wider leaves than Laurenti, creating a bold architectural presence that fills space beautifully. The leaves emerge straight and strong, maintaining perfect vertical lines that complement modern interior design. Here's the secret that makes these tall varieties so appealing. They actually prefer to stay pot-bound for several years rather than being repotted frequently. When their roots fill the container completely, the plants focus energy on producing more height and fuller growth instead of expanding their root systems. This pot-bound condition encourages the dramatic vertical growth that makes these plants such impressive focal points. The height growth happens slowly and steadily without any intervention from you. Each new leaf emerges slightly taller than the previous ones, gradually building the plant's stature over months and years. You simply continue with the same finger test watering method, providing water only when soil feels completely dry throughout the pot. No special fertilizers, no growth hormones, no complicated care adjustments needed. These plants create perfect focal points and entryways where they greet visitors with their impressive presence. In office settings, they provide natural room dividers that improve air quality while requiring no maintenance during busy work periods. Living rooms benefit from their clean, architectural lines that complement furniture without overwhelming the space. The long-term investment aspect makes these varieties particularly appealing. Large snake plants can live for decades, slowly increasing in size and value over time. A plant you purchase for $20 today might grow into a specimen worth hundreds in just a few years. They become family heirlooms that can be divided and shared with children and grandchildren. I've watched my tall varieties grow from small starter plants into magnificent specimens that consistently draw compliments from visitors. They've survived my longest vacations, my busiest seasons, and every neglectful period without losing their impressive stature or healthy appearance. But what if your space simply can't accommodate these towering beauties? What if you live in an apartment, dorm room, or simply prefer plants that fit perfectly on desks and tabletops? The honey snake plant varieties pack all the air purification power and indestructible nature of their tall cousins into compact, desktop-friendly sizes perfect for apartments, dorm rooms, and small homes. These charming little powerhouses prove that you don't need sprawling floor space to enjoy the benefits of snake plants in your living environment. I know many of you live in smaller spaces where every square foot counts. You want the air cleaning benefits, the low maintenance appeal, and the natural beauty of houseplants, but you can't dedicate large areas to towering specimens. These compact varieties solve that problem completely while delivering everything you're looking for in a manageable size. You might assume that smaller plants are more delicate or need more frequent attention than their larger relatives. That assumption couldn't be more wrong when it comes to these compact snake plants. The dwarf varieties are actually more drought tolerant than their tall cousins because their smaller leaf surface area loses less moisture to evaporation. The golden honey stands out with its distinctive rosette growth pattern that looks like a living flower arrangement. Instead of growing tall vertical leaves, this variety produces short, thick leaves arranged in perfect circular clusters that rarely exceed 6 to 8 inches in height. The golden yellow edges create bright accents that catch light beautifully, making each plant look like a piece of decorative pottery that happens to be alive. The classic bird's nest honey offers deep green coloration with subtle horizontal striping patterns. These plants form funnel-shaped rosettes rather than separate upright leaves, creating a completely different visual appeal. Each rosette functions as has a complete air purification system in miniature form, rarely growing taller than 8 inches but developing full, robust clusters that command attention on desks, shelves, or side tables. Here's something to keep in mind when searching for these compact varieties. They can be trickier to find than their larger cousins at typical garden centers, so you might need to visit specialty nurseries or order online to locate the specific varieties you want. Their smaller size means they dry out more slowly in proportion to their water needs. A 4-inch pot might go 2 months between waterings while maintaining perfect health and appearance. You can use the same finger test method, but you'll find these little plants ask for attention even less frequently than larger specimens. Creating collections becomes incredibly easy when you're working with compact varieties. You can group different types on a single shelf or spread them throughout your home without overwhelming any space. Mix golden honey with standard green varieties for color contrast, or create matching pairs for symmetrical displays. As your compact snake plants mature, they produce small offsets or pups around the base of the main rosette. You can carefully separate these baby plants and pot them individually, creating new plants to expand your collection or share with friends and family. This natural propagation makes these varieties particularly rewarding for long-term enjoyment. These compact varieties work perfectly as confidence builders for nervous plant parents. Success with a small honey often leads to expanded collections because people finally understand how forgiving snake plants can be. Starting small allows you to master the simple care routine before investing in larger, more expensive varieties. The desktop-friendly sizes fit beautifully in home offices, providing air purification benefits during long work sessions. Kitchen counters, bathroom vanities, and bedroom nightstands all benefit from these compact air cleaners that require no daily maintenance or attention. These 6 remarkable varieties offer something for every space and every level of gardening experience. From silvery moonshine to towering architectural specimens to compact desktop champions, each one proves the same fundamental truth about successful plant ownership. The choice becomes simple when you understand what actually works. My dear garden-loving friends, successful plant parenting isn't about having magical green thumbs or following complex care routines. It's about choosing plants designed for your lifestyle instead of fighting against nature. These 6 snake plant varieties prove that beautiful, healthy houseplants can thrive with minimal attention from busy people like us. Start with just one variety that appeals to you most. Master the simple finger test watering method we discussed, checking soil dryness 2 to 3 inches deep before watering again. Build your confidence watching that first plant flourish under your care. Then expand your collection gradually as you discover how rewarding low-maintenance gardening can be. These remarkable plants will transform any space into a healthier, more beautiful environment with practically no effort required.